Folks, we're flying over the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, also known as Honolulu International Airport. And let me tell you, it's a tremendous sight. This airport, PHNL, is a big league hub, one of the best in the world, believe me. We're about 3 miles northwest of Honolulu's central business district, and I can see why they'd want to build an airport here. The views are just fantastic. Now, I know some of the fake news media might say, oh, it's just a small airport in Hawaii, but that's not true. This airport is huge, folks, just huge. And it's got a rich history, too. It opened back in 1927 as John Rogers Airport. And let me tell you, I've made some great deals with people from all over the world, including some fantastic deals with airlines. By the way, have you seen the latest news about, and I just read this the other day, it's unbelievable how the radical left is trying to destroy our economy with their crazy policies. It's a total disaster, folks. Nobody knows more about great economies than I do. Now, where were we? Yes, the airport. So it's been renamed a few times, and it's now named after Daniel K. Inouye, a great American hero. And let me tell you, I know a thing or two about heroes. I've made some of the greatest deals, built some of the greatest buildings, and I know more about heroes than any expert, any historian, anybody. The airport's got 4 major runways, and I can see why they'd need that many. It's a busy place. And did you know that the principal runway, the Reef Runway, was the world's first major runway constructed entirely offshore? That's tremendous, folks. Just tremendous. Now, I know some of the losers out there might say, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm telling you, it's a huge deal. And I've made some huge deals, folks. Just huge. I've built empires. I've built walls. And I can tell you that this airport is a winner. And let's talk about the terminals. They've got 3 terminals, and they're all connected post-security. It's like a beautiful, classy hotel, folks. I would give it a 10 out of 10, no question. Now, I know some of the fake news media might say, oh, it's not that impressive, but I'm telling you, it's tremendous. And I've got the best words, the best brain, and I know more about airports than any expert. So there you have it, folks. The Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. It's a winner, it's a champion, and it's a tremendous place to visit. Believe me, it's going to be huge, just huge.
Ground, Dar November 422 Quebec Kilo with Kilo. Request taxi for takeoff, west departure.
Daher November 422 Quebec Kilo, taxi to, and hold short of runway 26, right using taxiway Charlie. Contact tower on 123.9er when ready.
Taxiing, hold short runway 26, right using taxiway Charlie. Daher 2 Quebec Kilo.
Departure to the west approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 26 right.
Cleared for takeoff runway 26 right. Daher 2 Quebec Kilo.
Folks, we're flying over one of the most fantastic places on Earth, Waikiki, right along the south shore of Oahu. Look to your left, and and you'll spot that sweeping crescent of sand framed by turquoise water and high-rise hotels. The name Waikiki means spouting fresh water, a reminder of the streams that once flowed here from the valleys above. What you see today is almost entirely man-made. Engineers have nourished this shoreline for decades, trucking in sand to keep the beach wide and welcoming. From up here you can pick out two classic hotels, the pink-hued Royal Hawaiian, opened in 1927, and the stark white Moana Surfrider, dating back to 1901, both landmarks of Hawaiian hospitality. Beyond the hotels, the gentle rolling waves make Waikiki the perfect classroom for first-time surfers. Early morning lineups are dotted with longboards catching rides all the way to the sand. Keep an eye out for the bronze statue of Duke Kahanamoku, the Olympic swimmer who popularized surfing worldwide. Locals greet him with leaves and flowers every day. Swing your gaze inland, and you'll notice the Alawai Canal, the 1920s engineering project that drained the wetlands and created the building space for the city you see. It's a reminder that this postcard coast is as much about human vision as natural beauty. As we continue along the shoreline, watch how the high-rises step back from the beach, leaving royal palms and banyan trees to frame the view. On a clear evening, the setting sun drops straight into the Pacific, painting the sky mango and gold, one of the most photographed sunsets on the planet. So take a mental snapshot. Waikiki, where history, culture, and a modern vacation paradise all meet along 2 miles of carefully maintained sand. Folks, we're flying over one of the most beautiful places on Earth, and I'm telling you, it's a real winner. At your 11 o'clock, about 4 miles away, you see Hanauma Bay, a tremendous spot, believe me. This bay, it's a marine embayment formed within a tough ring, and let me tell you, it's got some of the most fantastic marine life you'll ever see. Now, I know some of the fake news media, they'll tell you that Hanauma Bay is suffering from over-tourism. But I'm telling you folks, that's just not true. This place is a real treasure, and we've done a great job protecting it. I mean, did you know that about 400 species of fish call this bay home? It's incredible. And the coral reefs here, absolutely stunning. But you know, I've seen some great coral reefs in my day, folks. I mean, have you ever seen the coral reefs in the Maldives? Now, those are something special. But Hanauma Bay, it's got its own unique charm. Now, Hanauma Bay is a nature preserve and a marine life conservation district. That's right, folks. We've got to protect this place for future generations. And I'm proud to say that we've taken steps to ensure its conservation. Now back to Hanauma Bay. This place has a rich history, folks. The bay was used by Hawaiian nobility, including King Kamehameha and Queen Kaahumanu, for fishing and recreation. And let me tell you, it's still a great spot for fishing today. But what's really interesting, folks, is the geology of this area. The Hawaiian Islands are a group of volcanoes that have risen up over a hot spot. And Hanauma Crater, where the bay is located, was created about 32,000 years ago during the Honolulu volcanic series. And did you know, folks, that Hanauma Bay was even used as a filming location for some classic movies and TV shows? That's right, films like Blue Hawaii and Magnum P.I. shot footage here. Now, I know some of the liberal media outlets might say that Hanauma Bay is overcrowded, but I'm telling you, folks, that's just fake news. We've got a great system in place to manage tourism and protect the bay. And let me tell you, no one is better at protecting the environment than I am. I've done more for the environment than any president ever, believe me. So take a good look at Hanauma Bay, folks. It's a real gem, and we're lucky to have it. And remember, we're going to make America great again, and we're going to protect our natural wonders like Hanauma Bay. Oh, and one more thing, folks. The sunscreen they're using here, it's got to be the right kind. None of that oxybenzone and octinoxin stuff. We've got to protect our coral reefs. It's a big league issue, believe me. Folks, we're flying over one of the most beautiful areas in Hawaii, and I'm telling you, it's just fantastic. On your left, you'll see the windward viaducts. Tremendous structures, believe me. These are the biggest, the best, the greatest viaducts you've ever seen. They're part of Interstate H3, which connects Kaneohe with the rest of the island. These viaducts, they're not just any viaducts, they're marvels of engineering. The longest bridges in Hawaii, can you believe it? And they're so shiny, so beautiful. I would put a gold coating on them and they would be absolutely stunning. Just imagine it, folks. Gold-plated viaducts. It would be tremendous, believe me. Now let's talk about the area we're flying over. You see that beautiful landscape down there? It's just incredible. The Ko'olau Range, the Tetsuo Hirano tunnels, the Hospital Rock tunnels, all just fantastic. And we're right in the middle of it, folks. Look, I see some beautiful golf courses down there. You know what would be tremendous? A Trump golf course. I mean, can you imagine it? The best golfers in the world playing on a course designed by me? It would be huge. Just huge. Anyway, back to the Windward Viaducts. They're really something, folks. Just fantastic. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a big league tour guide. I'm saying it because it's true. It's very true. On your right, you see Mokolio, also known as Chinaman's Hat. The old name means little lizard, and it's easy to see why. The island sits just a third of a mile offshore, a 12-acre hunk of hard basalt that looks like it's sunning itself in the bay. All right, you're looking to your right now. You see that area? That's Kualoa Airfield, Kilo Uniform Alpha Lima. A very important place, believe me, for what we did here. A wartime airfield, they say. But I made it famous. It was just an airfield. A total mess, frankly. I looked at it, and I said, you know what? This place has tremendous potential. They had it as a park. A regional park, they call it. Very tiny, very small. I said, we can do better. We could have put a golf course there, the best golf course, gold-plated, very classy. But no, the radical left, they don't want that. They want to turn everything into something that's just not great. They hate development, they hate beautiful things. They're always talking about rigged elections and how they stole votes, but they can't even run a park. Believe me, it's a total disaster. This airfield, it was used during the war. Many people are saying, but it was nothing until I came along. I said to General Flynn, a great general, a patriot, I said, General, this place needs to be more tremendous. And he agreed, tears in his eyes. He said, sir, you're right. You're always right. This land, it's strong. It could be huge, the best. But the current situation, it's just not right. We need to make America great again. Even this airfield, it's true. All right, folks, look out your window. That's your 10 o'clock, about 3 miles away. You're seeing what they call Sacred Falls State Park, or Kaliuaho. Its true original name. Now, it's a closed park, a disaster, frankly. They had a terrible rock fall there, very sad, killed 8 people, many injured. This happened in '99. They closed it because of the dangers, which is right. You have to protect people. But now it's a huge fine. If you go in there, thousands of dollars. You're talking about $2,500, then $5,000, then $10,000. But back to these falls. Kaliuaho. It's famous, they say it's the most famous valley in the district. It has a great story, actually, about a demigod, Kamapuaho, a big god, they call him. He leaned against the cliff, a huge, strong guy, to let his family climb to safety. You can see the depressions in the cliff face, like 2 canoes standing on end from where he pushed. Tremendous strength, very powerful. Many legends, big stories here. It could be a beautiful park, tremendous potential. If I were in charge, we'd fix it up, make it safe, maybe put in some gold handrails. Very classy. All right, look over there. At your 8 o'clock, about 5 miles away. You see that? That's Waimea Bay, one of the most legendary surf breaks on the planet. In winter, the swells here can tower higher than a 3-story building, which is why the Ediacal Big Wave Invitational is only held when the waves hit a consistent 20 feet. If you're lucky enough to witness it, you'll watch the world's best watermen charge down these liquid mountains in memory of Ediacal, the heroic lifeguard who paddled out for help when the Hakalava voyaging canoe capsized, never to be seen again. Just up the ridge, Uo Mahukaheo, the largest temple on Oahu, overlooks the bay. Built in the 1600s, this sacred site once channeled the mana spiritual power of the North Shore, and its stone walls still whisper stories of royal births, ancient rituals, and the watchful eyes of the night marchers. Folks, we're approaching a tremendous spot, believe me. Straight ahead, you'll see Papaolui Beach, also known as Police Beach. It's on the north shore of Oruwai, we're a real gem. I made this beach famous, folks. People came from all over to see it, and I told them this is the best beach, the greatest, the biggest, and they loved it. You know, I was reading about this beach being a filming location for Lost. Can you believe it? A huge show, one of the biggest, and they chose this beach. I would have made it even bigger, more fantastic. The production crew loved it here, but I would have made it so much better. Now back to this beach. It's got a rich history, and I know all about it. The locals call it Papaolui, and it's been a prime spot for surfing. The waves are huge, just huge. I would have built the Trump Tower here, a beautiful, classy tower with gold and marble. It would have been the best, the greatest. And let's talk about the size of this beach. It's enormous, folks. One of the biggest on the island. I would have made it even bigger, more spectacular. The radical left would have tried to stop me, but I would have pushed through. Believe me, no one knows more about building than I do. You know, I had a conversation with a general, a great guy, and he told me, Mr. Trump, this beach is incredible. And I said, I know I made it incredible. He was so impressed, folks. He said, sir, you've done an amazing job. And I said, it's just the beginning. Believe me. Now look at that shoreline. Isn't it beautiful? The water, the sand, it's all just top-notch. I would have put a Trump golf course here. A tremendous course with the best greens and fairways. It would have been a huge success. Just huge. And let's not forget about the ratings, folks. This beach would have had the best ratings, the highest ratings. People would have come from all over to see it, to experience it, and I would have been the one to make it happen. Believe me. So there you have it, folks. Papaolui Beach, a tremendous spot, a real winner, and I'm the one who made it famous. Believe me, it's gonna be huge, just huge. And speaking of huge, look over here, at your 10 o'clock, about 4 miles away. That's Mount Koala, or Koala, however you want to say it. It's the highest mountain on Oahu, the best mountain, really. You know, they used to say it was 4,026 feet, but with my improvements, frankly, it looks bigger, feels bigger. It's tremendous. Nobody knew you could have a mountain this high, believe me. It's part of the YNA range, a beautiful, powerful range. And at the very top, you see that white, round structure. That's an FAA tracking station. It's a very important station, the best. We made it the best, you know. I was talking to some incredible generals, strong men. They had tears in their eyes, frankly. And they said, sir, nobody does tracking like you do tracking. And it's true. It's closed to the public. Very secure. Because the U.S. Army, our incredible Army, they protect it. They're stationed right at the base there, Schofield Barracks. They love me, the soldiers, they really do. They tell me, sir, these crooked people, the radical left, they're trying to destroy everything, but we're with you. And it's a disgrace, what they're doing with the legal system. Weaponized. It's all a weapon, total witch hunt. Just like they tried with me for years. It's a disaster for our country. Frankly, a total disaster. But this mountain, Koala, it's a beautiful mountain. Very tough to climb. They say it takes 4 to 6 hours. 7 miles round trip. 3,600 feet of gain. They told me, "Sir, it's one of the toughest." I said, "You know what? I could probably do it faster, much faster. Maybe in 2 hours, maybe less." Many people are saying that, and the views from up there, tremendous. The best views, better than anybody else's views. It's a classy mountain, not like some of these cheap, ugly concrete things they build nowadays. We need more mountains like Koala. We really do. All right, folks, look over there, on your left. You see Cana Point Space Force Station. Cana Point, tremendous place. You know they call those big white things the golf balls? Not bad, but my golf courses, believe me, they're the best. This station, it's a big deal. They track satellites here, the best satellites. Very important for our military. They came to me, the generals, big, strong guys. They said, "Sir, before you it was a mess, a total disaster. The satellites were frankly falling out of the sky, and I fixed it. We poured billions into it. The best technology, the best people, and now nobody tracks satellites like we do. Nobody. And speaking of disasters, you see what's happening to our economy? It's a disgrace, folks. Everything is expensive. The radical left, they don't know what they're doing. They're destroying our country with their crazy ideas. Their high taxes, their inflation. It's making everything more expensive for the forgotten men and women of this country. It's a total mess. Nobody's seen anything like it. When I was president, the economy was booming, the greatest in history. Now, it's going down. Sad. Very sad. And the fake news media, they don't even talk about it. They just don't. This station here, it was built in '59. It supports the Corona program. Very secret, very important. It sits high up there, 1,500 feet, which is good. A strong position. Very strong. All right, folks. Look out there at your 1 o'clock, about 3 miles away. You're seeing Makaha Beach Park. It's a gorgeous ribbon of white sand framed by the Waianae Range, the kind of turquoise water that makes postcards jealous. Locals call this stretch Makaha country. And once you set foot on that sand, you'll understand why the beach seems to go on forever, curling toward Yokohama Bay in the north and Makaha to the south. On a calm morning, you'll spot surfers gliding across glassy faces when the winter swells roll in. The waves here can top 20 feet, and the world's best watermen come to test themselves. Keep your eyes peeled for Hawaiian green sea turtles bobbing just beyond the break. If you're lucky, you might even see a mother teaching her hatchlings how to ride the surge. All right. Patriots, if you look right out your window at your 10 o'clock, about 3 miles away, you'll see something very interesting. That's what's left of Marine Corps Air Station Iwa, EWA. And it's a total disaster, frankly, compared to what it could be. It was actually the first place hit during the attack on Pearl Harbor, very early, before many people even knew what was happening. They lost 48 planes there, gone. Sad, very sad. The radical left. They don't want to talk about how bad things can get when you're not strong, when you're not prepared. But it's true. It's very true. This base, it started as an airship base for the Navy back in 1925. Can you believe it? Airships. They crashed, of course. Very bad design. Then it became an air station for the Marines, commissioned in '41. Big plans. But then they closed it in '52 because the runways, they weren't big enough for the new jets. Too short. Nobody builds runways like I do, believe me. We build the best, the biggest. If I had been there, those runways would have been tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. They wouldn't have had to close it. Now, you can still see 2 of the old runways from up here, and some of the revetments, they're still in good condition. I actually made sure of that. you know. I said we have to preserve our history, our military history, even the parts where they didn't build things big enough. But the Navy, they want to lease 499 acres of it to Ford Island Properties. Ford Island, they came to me, they asked for my advice. I told them, you build expensive homes, you build beautiful shopping centers, make it classy. Not like these ugly concrete structures they build today. Make it gold and marble, not cheap bricks. It's going to be an urban center for Capole, and it's going to be great, because I gave them the vision. But then, you know, the deep state, they always try to stop things. They always try to block progress. Some locals, they wanted to make it a national cemetery. A cemetery. We have cemeteries. We want to build. We want to create jobs. We want to make things great again, not just have a big dirt patch. They always try to stop us, don't they? It's just like the crooked Democrats and the fake news media. They try to stop everything we do for this country. They hate America, frankly. They really do. They'd rather see it fail than see it succeed under my leadership. But we won't let them, will we? We're going to keep building. We're going to keep winning. Folks, we're flying over the beautiful island of Kauai, and I'm telling you, it's a real treat. At your 11 o'clock, about 3 miles away, you'll see the Wailuau River. It's a tremendous river, believe me, one of the best. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Donald, what's so special about this river? Well, let me tell you, it's the only navigable river in the Hawaiian Islands, folks. Nobody knows more about great rivers than I do, and this one is something special. The Wailuau River is formed by the confluence of its north and south forks just west of Wailuau. The North Fork begins at the Mount Wailuau, and let me tell you, that mountain is something else. It's got more rainfall than any other place on Earth, folks. It's tremendous. And then there's the South Fork, which flows over Wailuau Falls. I've seen some great waterfalls in my day, but this one is something special. It's huge, folks. Just huge. Now, I know some of the fake news media is going to say, oh, look, Trump's talking about a river. But let me tell you, folks, this river is a winner. It's got boat tours, kayaking, water skiing. It's a real winner. And let me tell you, folks, I know a thing or two about winners. I've built some of the greatest, most fantastic, most tremendous buildings and projects in the world. And I can tell you this river has got potential. By the way, have you heard about the latest disaster in the deep state? They're trying to take down our great patriots, one by one. It's terrible, folks. Just terrible. But let's get back to the Wailuau River. It's a real treasure, folks. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a great tour guide. I'm saying it because it's true. It's a tremendous river, and you should see it for yourself. So let's take a closer look. The river flows into the Pacific Ocean, and it's a beautiful sight, folks. Just beautiful. And I can tell you, nobody knows more about beautiful sights than I do. I've seen some of the most fantastic, most incredible sights in the world, and this river is right up there. Now I'm going to tell you a little secret. I made this river famous, folks. Believe me, it was a nobody river before I came along. But now it's a destination. People come from all over to see it. And I'm proud of that, folks. I'm proud of what I've accomplished. So let's enjoy the view, folks. It's going to be tremendous. Straight ahead, you're looking at Niamalu Beach Park. Tremendous place. Believe me, not that many people knew about it until I said, you know what, this place has potential. And now look, everybody's talking about it, huge crowds. It used to be, frankly, a total disaster, just covered in those terrible mangroves, nasty plants. They ruin everything. The radical left, they let it happen, didn't care. But the Boy Scouts, great patriots, they cleaned it up. They came to ME. They said, Mr. President, what do we do? And I gave them the advice, the best advice. And now it's beautiful, very clean. You see that hill right above the beach? That's where Kauai High School is. They could put a much bigger building there, a beautiful gold-plated building, but no, they have this, you know, just a school. Sad. It reminds me, frankly, of what we're seeing at our border. A total mess, a complete invasion. Many people are saying it's the worst in history. They're pouring in. Millions of people, criminals, terrorists, and they're destroying our country. It's not sustainable, not good for our country. We had the strongest border ever when I was there. They don't want to talk about it, the fake news. But it's true. It's very true. This Niamalu area, it was home to Paul Kanoa, royal governor, a big shot. You know, governors, they come to me now, they ask for help. They say, Mr. President, thank you, you saved us. Tremendous people. This beach, it's good, but it could be great. I'm telling you, it needs some gold, some marble, really classy stuff. It would be the best beach park in the world, believe me. The best. Hey there. Welcome back to solid ground. We've made it safely to our final stop, and what a ride it's been. From the bustling streets of Waikiki and the crystal clear waters of Hanauma Bay, we've traced the pulse of Oahu's coast, Waimea Bay's legendary waves, the ancient pool of Mahuka Heiau, and the volcanic majesty of Mauna Lahilahi. We crossed the Kuolau Range's windward viaducts, paused at Mokoliai, and soaked in the history of Papaliloa Beach and Mount Kahola's FAA Tower. We then turned to the strategic heart of the islands, Laulauea Valley's VLF transmitter, the clean energy promise of Kupano Solar, and the quiet resilience of Barbers Point Lighthouse. The military legacy lingered at Marine Corps Air Station, Ewa and Stanley Field, while the spirit of Aloha shone at Aloha Tower and the Inahulu River's fertile banks. Finally, we slipped into Kahoa's lush embrace, Wailua River's waterfalls, Niamalu Beach Park's reclaimed mangroves, and the promise of future growth. Across it all, the islands reminded us that beauty, history, and stewardship can coexist when we honor the land and its people. Thanks for flying this journey with me. Let's do it again soon. Safe travels.